Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Chassidus in the morning. 15 minutes to change our lives. Look at the Sichus. Chelik base in Bamidbar. We're finishing off the Sikh of today. So, we're discussing 3 levels of Ahavas Yisrael. And we're seeing how the level of Ahavas Yisrael by the Baal Shem Tov was they should love every single Yid, even the simplest of Yidden. In those days, the simplest Yidden weren't given any respect. They were like Amaratzim. And the contrast between the simple people and the Talmid Chachamim were vast. As Baal Shem Tov said, you should have Ahavas Yisrael to them. Then we have the Ahavas Yisrael of the Magid, which is the Magid said the whole story that Reb Zusha says to the Alter Rebbe that his brother Reb Elimelech said he was one of the attendants for the Magid. The Magid said, "Do you hear what they say in the Sister Akia in the heavenly yeshiva? They say that you have to have Ahavas Yisrael just like you have Ahavas Yisrael for a tzaddik. You have to have it the same way for Rosh Gomer. Tzaddik Gomer is to do with Rosh Gomer, which is very extreme, very intense." Yeah, and the Baal Shem Tov's Var was based off the Tefillin. What does it say in Tefillin Shalmaila in Hashem's Tefillin? It says in the Tefillin, who's like you, the nation of Israel, one nation in the world. And meaning the Tefillin of Hashem, so to speak, is the Yidden, the Jewish people. And we know by the Tefillin, very Bashkacha Pratis, we learned yesterday, and yesterday we started in Rambam, Hilchus, in Shesh Parakim, we started the Hilchus Tefillin. And so there's 2 mitzvahs. There's the mitzvah Shal Yad and the mitzvah Shal Rosh. But what do we put on first? The Shal Yad, which shows that the Shal Yad, the hand, which is the not intellect, which represents the Yidden. That aren't the Shal Rosh, the head Yidden, the intellect and the Talmid Chachamim, but it's a simple Yidden. They work with the hands, simple. They are more precious in some sense, and that teaches the Baal Shem to cause an arousal of Ahavas Yisrael even to the simple people. And then you had the Magid that his part was you have to. It says in the heavenly yeshiva, it says that you should have the Ahavas Yisrael for a Rosh Gomer, just like you have a Tzaddik Gomer, which is a crazy idea. And we forget about that, and something we have to think about. And what does it mean to have Ahavas Yisrael? It doesn't just mean to be kind to them. It means to love them. And then we said the Vart of the Alter Rebbe, and we'll go from there, and we'll finish off. The Alter Rebbe says that Ahavas Yisrael has to be from the smallest, from the greatest to the smallest. From the Gadol, the greatest, Ad Katan, the smallest. Love like by brothers. Shehi Ava Atzis, which is essential love. And this is the intent of what we say in the morning. When we start to daven, we say, you should love your fellow as yourself. Literally like yourself. Now, Kashem Shekamoicha, Av Atzma Hare, He Hare, Ava Atzma Shein, Kashur, Vacheshbeina is called Shalhem. The love we have for ourselves is not dependent on anything. It's not, I love myself because I behave well. It's above all that. Shemishum Kach Hare, I'll call Pasham Tchas Avam. Because of that, and all our faults, the love will cover it over. I mean, even though we have faults, the love will, because we love ourselves, we can move past those faults. Meaning, even at the time that we recognize, we see for ourselves that we have faults. Because we're in such a situation, even though we have love, we can't like overcome these issues, and we still make mistakes, but more like we do things that we shouldn't be doing. Nevertheless, the love can cover over. Since it reaches such a deep place in our soul, that in that deep level in our soul, those things don't matter. Meaning, we know that we don't do everything good. We know there's problems, but the love that we have for ourselves is on a much deeper level that those things don't bother us. We tapped into a deeper level within our soul, and on that deeper level, it doesn't bother us. What we do. And that's the same love we should have to someone else. Our love for them is much deeper than their issues. Yeah, we know what's going on. We know they do wrong things, just like we know ourselves. And just like ourselves, the love that we have for ourselves is on a much deeper level. So by them, the love that we should have for another person should be on a much deeper level. That even with all the mistakes, we love them. Like we said yesterday, that the difference in a person you like, you don't like, is what you focus on. And because you have a love for them, you focus on their good. So today, to arouse this to Rusha, his beinus. We have to meditate. But through these bonus, through the meditation, reaching this, we have to meditate. We have to recognize the reality. And meditate on this, what we were just saying, that just like I love myself. And what? I don't have any faults? Of course I have faults. But still, I'm able to go past that and love myself. And that's not a bad thing. So too, I should have that to someone else. And we see someone, so then you can think about people that, let's say, bother you or annoy you. And you say, hey, if that was me, if I was doing that, I would be able to move past it and I would love myself. So I should love them. There's a much deeper level I can reach within my love for them, and I can love them. Yeah, it's a case of the F Shari Hadavar, but how's this possible? Hey, Ava Atzmis. How can we say the one issue is like this? Okay, Ilu Atzma, Haloy Zulas Arei B'Cholzes, Einoi Hu. The question is like this. There's one issue with this. It's a very nice idea, but there's an issue. Why? Because ultimately, we're saying when it comes, just like for ourselves, because we have an essential love for ourselves, we're able to move past any of the faults, because those faults are on a low level, then our connection to ourselves, so we go to a deeper level. So we say, do that to someone else as well. But 1 second, that someone else is someone else. It's not the same. How can I reach that deep level? We're saying we reach a deep level within ourselves. But how can I reach a deep level within that person? It doesn't work the same way. So ultimately, it's always someone else. So how does it work? There's two ways to understand this. One is Avos Yisrael, Avos Torah, Avos Hashem, Hein Kul Echad. Loving Hashem, loving the Torah, and loving a Yid is all really one thing. Meaning, Avos Hashem, Eitz Yisrael, Harei, He Harei Ava Atzis. When you love Hashem, you're loving it. It's an essential love. Shaharei, but we are sons of Hashem. So when you're loving Hashem, you're loving your father. Ben and the son and the father are really one thing. Avos Yisrael, Hanevas mitzad Avos Hashem, so to the Avos Yisrael, which comes out of the love to Hashem. Oyev mashahav oyev. So therefore, you love what Hashem loves. He eifoi ava atzmis. So therefore, it's essential love. Meaning, being we have Avos Hashem, Avos Torah, and Avos Yisrael, and they're all really one thing. And therefore, when you have a love of Hashem, it's like connected. It's like having love for yourself, because Hashem is your father, and you are part of your father. So they're connected that way, and therefore you can connect to Hashem. This is the Avos Hashem. Just meaning, just like we have the Avos Atzis, Avos Yisrael we talked about for ourselves, and we said it's a very deep level. So to that deep level can be connected to Hashem as well, because He's our Father, so we are connected. And so therefore, so too that being that we said Avos Yisrael and Avos Torah and Avos Hashem are all one, so therefore also the Avos Yisrael can be connected from that deep level, because it's like having a love for yourself, just like you love Hashem and Hashem is part of you. So too, loving a Yid is also part of you. And second, that's the first point. And secondly, I'm looking in a deeper way. Kol Yisrael him guf echad, etzem echad. So the first level, really, he said, it's you loving another Yid with essential love because you love Hashem and He's like your father, and you're one with your father. And being that your father loves this, so I love this person. So I love it when I love this person because my father loves this person. So it's saying we're all really connected, but it's really saying that my love stems from the fact that Hashem loves him. On a deeper level, it's kol yishal heim guf echad, really we're all one body. Etzem echad, really one thing. And neshama l'chol echad mechalakim hashenim. It's basically the neshama to everyone, which is just separated. One neshama separated. So therefore, when you're loving someone else, you're not really loving someone else. You're loving yourself, just part of you. It's like saying, you don't say to yourself, I love myself, I love my head, that's who I am, and I can work on loving my hand. You don't have to say that because it's part of you. And this is the reality. This is the beauty of it. The reality is every yid is part of the same body. So you're not going to say, I don't love my leg. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, you love yourself. You say, when I say I love myself, it's everything. But in order to recognize this, we have to misbrain. You have to meditate. You have to think about what we've been learning. We have to process this, and we have to share this with people, like we said in the beginning of the Sikha. Share this in your Ahavas Yisrael. Especially this is the Achan of Matan Torah, and because of this Ahavas Yisrael, that's what preceded or made it possible to have Matan Torah. So us working on this in these days, coming up to Shavuos, thinking about this and recognizing that within someone else, you look at someone else and not there's me and you are separate. We're really one. I might be the head, and you might be the hand, but we're all the same body. Shit. The last two aces. Yesh Leima, we can say we can possibly say. So now we had a question yesterday: which level is the greatest? Where does the Alter Rebbe's Vart fit in? Baal Shem Tov is you have to love even simple people because it's tefillin, just like the tefillin of Hashem. In the first part of tefillin is Shal Yad. So even the simple people, you have to have a lot of Yisrael. Then you have the Magid. He said you have to love a Rosh Gomer like a Tzaddik Gomer. And Alter Rebbe says you have to love every Yid like yourself. Is that in the middle? Is that above it? Is that below? Where's the hold? So saying really the Alter Rebbe is an even higher level. You know, you have an addition, you're adding to the words of the Magid. Why? Because when you say you should love a Rosh Gomer like a Tzaddik Gomer, that's in logic. Because what do we say? What does the Maggid say? You have to love its Rosh Gomer like a Tzaddik Gomer, meaning it's not literally, and really you're saying that there is a Rasha. So we don't want body. There's a Rasha and there's a Tzaddik, and I have to love that Rasha just like a Tzaddik. But whereas the love, which is the level of the Alter Rebbe, which is like you, it's not limited. It's not a level. It's not like you're a Rasha, you're a Tzaddik. Because ultimately the Maggid is saying, hey, you're a Tzaddik. You're a bad guy. I see you. You have all these issues, but I need to love you like a tzaddik gomer, and I'm going to work myself to love you, and I have to give all these reasons. The Alter Rebbe is saying, I love you not because you're Rasha, because you're me. When you're loving another yid, you're not loving a Rasha. You're loving yourself. We're like brothers. Just like yourself, you have yourself love. You look at that person, you have to look at it the same way you look at yourself because they are part of you. And that's what the Alter Rebbe is saying. Such a deep idea. Last ice. According to this, now we can understand what's the connection between Ahavas Yisrael and Matan Torah. Being that through the Ahavas Yisrael, that we can all camp. Without any separateness, we arouse the essence of the neshama. Shekol Yisrael heim etzem echad kanal. That every single yid is one essence. And through this Alter Rebbe's Vart and seeing another yid as part of you, leichim kaviyachol es ani nafshi. We take, so to speak, I my soul, which is Hashem, Atzus HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the essence of Hashem, and this kashra. And we connect through the Torah to the essence of a yid. So through learning, through obviously Israel, which is the preparation of Matan Torah, this is the best preparation because it really takes Hashem and it takes the essence of the Torah and it connects with the essence of the Yid. So all of us, we should meditate and we should analyze and we should internalize this message of Ahavas Yisrael and look at another person, not as someone separate, not as a Russia, not even I'm such a good guy that I love a Russia government. I'm like the Magida, even though he's a Russia, I love him. But we should love them because I love myself. So I love you. We're the same. We're family. Mission all of us, we should have an amazing Kabbalah Torah B'Simcha B'Pnimius.